So hello and welcome to this first in a series of vlogs which I'm going to take you through the rehearsal process of putting on a show. We're going to go from page to stage. Let me give you some background. I'm in an amateur dramatics group and we do 3 shows a year. We do a pantomime, a May production and an October show. Now, me and my wife have volunteered to take charge of the May show. Now, what does that involve? So, about 6 months ago, we said we'll do the May show, and so we went away and looked at some scripts. I knew I wanted to do a murder mystery or thriller type play. So I've got a few scripts out the library, and we settled on Agatha Christie's A Murder is Announced. Now, what do I look for in a script? Well, all amateur dramatics groups are different, but you have to know what your stage is capable of. Now, our stage, I know we don't have a trapdoor, we can't fly big bits of scenery in. So when I'm looking at a script, I have to take in consideration what our stage can do. Second, you have to look at, can you cast the play? Again, all groups have different age ranges and personnel. I know what our group is capable of. So again, you have to look at who's needed for the play. Third, you have to think, is there an audience for this play? You may find a fantastic play and you could probably do it brilliantly, but if it's by an unknown author or an experimental type or a subject matter that's controversial, you may not get the audience for an amateur show. And so you have to bear in mind your audience as well. So we settled on Agatha Christie, A Murder is Announced. So let me give you a timeline as well. So today I'm filming this and it is January the 10th. We audition in February, middle of February, so a month away. We start rehearsals end of February and we rehearse through March, April, beginning of May, and then we do 4 shows in the middle of May. But the work starts now, a month before auditions. So what I'm going to do today is some basic prep work. I've already read through the script a couple of times, but today I'm going to start going through the script and listing down things like props, sound effects, lighting effects, anything unusual that will need extra work when we come to rehearsals. So I'm going to start that now and then I will get back to you. Okay, so it's just after 9 o'clock. I've just gone through Act 1. I'm going to leave Act 2 for another day. And all I've done is I've gone through and basically noted down all the props and anything interesting. So things like blackout, flashlight, gunshots, and sort of just made notes against each page. And I'll do the same for Act 2 at another time.
Okay, so today is the 18th of January and I've been out of action for a week, as you can probably tell by my voice. I've had the flu for the last week, so I've not been able to do anything on A Murder is Announced. So today, feeling a little bit better, so I'm going to read through Act 2 and I'm going to make a list of all the props and sound effects and so forth. We've got about 3.5 weeks until auditions, so still quite a long time yet, but I'm going to try and get some work done today. Okay, so it's the afternoon and I've just read through Act 2 of A Murder is Announced. Act 2 is shorter than Act 1. Act 1 probably is going to be about an hour, Act 2 probably about 45-50 minutes. I've gone through and made notes of anything unusual. So in this case I've made a note that we need an enormous chocolate cake called Delicious Death. So we're going to need 4, well, about 6 of those. So someone's going to have to make 6 chocolate cakes. They are edible because the cast have to eat them on stage. So little things like that I've gone through and made notes of. So the next job that I have to do before auditions, which are about 3.5 weeks away, is I'm going to have to go through and do character descriptions. So list down all the characters and sort of give ideas of ages and relationships and sort of size of part for the auditioners, and get that printed up so it can go on the website and Facebook and handed out to members. I also then will need to choose some audition pieces, which means choosing sections of the script for certain characters for people to read, and also hopefully before we get to auditions try and get a more detailed idea of what the set is going to look like and the time period. My original thought was sort of set in the 1930s, pre-war, but I went back to the original novel and that was first published in 1950, so after the Second World War. So I'm probably going to set the play in sort of 1950, but that's a job for tomorrow when I'm feeling better.
Okay, so welcome back. So little update. So today is the 31st of January. We have less than 2 weeks before auditions. Auditions are on the 13th of February. So what has been happening? So we have done an audition poster. Let me show you an audition poster, which will go up at the Village Hall this weekend. I've also done a character list so people can have a look, and it gives the relative ages, I'll show you that in a moment, of the characters and sort of rough description so people can decide whether or not there's a part for them or not. So I'm now going to get ready for auditions. Now, what does that involve? Now, all groups are different. They have different procedures. The way we do it is we have open auditions, which we'll advertise on Facebook, on the website and email. Anyone can turn up, and we sit around in a large group and we just read sections of the play. So we'll get one character, one person to read one character with another character, and then we may swap them over and get other people to read in small bits, so that way everyone gets to read a role, and then we can decide which person can go into which role. So it normally takes about an hour, hour and a half, and hopefully everyone gets to read at least once or twice in the evening. So my job for tonight is I'm going to go through the script and I'm going to choose sections no more than 40 seconds a minute, so page of script that we can use for auditions, and I'll print off 3 or 4 copies, although I'm going to have to buy some more ink because our printer has just decided to run out of ink. So I'll print off 3 or 4 copies of each, about 6 different sections, ready for Tuesday after, when we hold auditions. Now, obviously we have 12 characters to audition. Hopefully we'll get 12 people turn up to auditions, but if not, if we get more, then obviously we're going to have to... So what happens is on Tuesday we hold the auditions, and then by the weekend we will let people know who we have cast in what role. So it gives us a few days to think about it and play around with personnel. So the job for tonight though is to read through the script again and pick out sections of the play for auditions, and I'll show you what I've done in a moment. Okay, so quick update on what I've done. So this is the character list. So what I've done is named all the characters down, approximate ages, and a little bit of a description. So Letitia Blackstock, 50s, owner of the house, major role, as she's on stage for most of the play. So it gives people an idea of who the characters are. Also we'll go into more detail at auditions. What I've now done is I've gone through the script and listed a few excerpts to audition with. So for example, for the character Julia, I've said page 25 to 26. So if I go to the script, so page 25, so you got Julia, sort of place of Julia in, and you go over to the next page, sort of Julia up until that line. So what will happen is on audition night is we'll get two of the actors to read those roles, and then we'll pass it over to another couple who want to read, and so on and so on. Whoever wants to read for those roles, we'll probably do it 3 or 4 times with different combinations, and then we'll move on to the next one. And so for example, Mrs. Blacklock, who is the main part, so I've put page 50 up to page 51. So again, if I just show you, go to page 50, I've said from line 3, so you got Mrs. Blacklock and Inspector Craddock. So you got all of that, and all of that down to the bottom. Frankly, I'm not worth murdering. So again, we'll get 2 of the actors to read those roles, and then another 2, and then another 2, until everyone's read for those, and so forth and so on for all of those. So next job for me is to print those, and obviously we need to get some more ink first, and then we'll see where we go from there. Okay, so like I say, a week before auditions, so we have a week to go, and today we are going to print off the audition pieces. So if you remember, I picked out audition sections of the script, and today with my co-director, the lovely Jill, we're going to print and staple and highlight the audition sections. So that's our job for the next half an hour probably. Okay, so an hour was probably optimistic. That's probably taken over 2 hours. Well, Yeah, about 2 hours I think that's taken. So what have we done? So we've photocopied the scripts, we've put character names, and sort of highlighted the bits that we want people to read. So next Tuesday we can hand these out to people. They can read the highlighted bits. So we've got pages and pages and pages of them, all different scenes, and we'll get people to read, and then we can make our decisions and cast the play.